Larry, I also, when I saw your team, the team evaluating Toolbox Mobile Library, for example, I know that you partnered with a few people to ensure that you were hitting the business problems right, a few airlines, and you were trying to address that. Can you walk us through sort of the process of partnering with somebody to help you, determine maybe the minimum viable product or something like that?
Yeah, Mark, we did have a pretty, I'm going to say, pretty rigid process. As you start these things out, it's kind of typical product management. We brought in a small group of 5 or 6 airlines to do essentially a focus group, right? So we would bring in the maintenance, pretty much maintenance at the leadership level and at the mechanic level, turning wrenches, and just go through this process analysis of what they're doing today, whiteboard it out, and where are there areas for improvements, and how can this new technology fit within, and bring efficiencies. But let me be clear, it started out with a small group, focus group of 4 or 5 airlines, and these were anywhere from large guys like down in Dallas to smaller guys like maybe up in Canada, or in Holland. So some of it's important to get a broad brush across the industry, but it's also important to start with a small group. Don't go out to 50 customers. So we did that, and we came up with a product that those 5 customers really liked. And then we really took it a lot broader and did a little bit more, I'm going to say, organized approach in showing this capability to a large group of airlines, 50 or 100 airlines. Given a questionnaire, show them the application, hey, what do you think? And really broaden it out so we get a lot more input. And then the last thing you do is kind of bring it back down to the 5 you started with, right? And have them take all that input and come up with a final product. So it starts really with a focused, small focus group, broadly share what you've done with your customer base, and then bring it back in to really make the final minimum viable product.
Yeah, Larry, it's amazing how when we have these conversations about technology and about blockchain, they seem to always go back to the beginning of what's the problem you're trying to solve? What is the business problem? What's the return on investment? And I know you've seen people who have jumped to the end and went out and bought technology and then come back and tried to figure out how to implement it. How did that go?
Yeah, that's always a frustrating piece, because you got to find the capital to go buy the iPads or the mobile devices, and you got to justify that to someone. And so again, I think this approach where you start with a small group and you're able to build a business case before you go out and decide on a particular device or a particular technology.
Yeah, and Larry, the same scenario applies when we're talking about the next generation of technology. Okay, so we're talking about blockchain. All right, now I've had people come to me and say, what do I need blockchain for? All right, well, I can't even answer that question because I don't understand what your business is doing and what your business problems are.
Well, there's 2 problems there, Mark. Right. First is, why do I need blockchain? But even more basic than that is, what the heck is blockchain? I mean, right? And I think you've done a great job over the last 6 or 8 weeks helping people understand, and even helping me, old guy like me, understand what blockchain is, how it can fit into your enterprise. So the first question is, what's my business problem? But what the heck is blockchain anyway?